Jeff the Killer is one of the biggest creepypastas ever, and it has a long history. It started with this image, and no one really knows what this image came from, but we might know now. But I will get to that later. The first story of Jeff the Killer was a video made in 2008, and the creator of this video is a guy who role-played as Jeff the Killer. Then he made a short video to give his character lore, and later this video was deleted for reasons I will talk about later, but luckily this video was archived. And now I'm going to summarize the story of it, and I will put some spooky music behind it. A guy named Jeff was carrying a giant gallon of acid to the bathroom. As you do. Then he slipped on a bar of soap, and the acid burned his face, and he was rushed to the hospital, and now he kills every human in the world for some reason. So that video is probably the least edgy Jeff the Killer will ever be. After this, Jeff the Killer is the most edgy person ever. Also, here are some clips from the video that I think are pretty funny. Then 3 years after this story was made, someone saw the story, and kinda stole it. They used all the characters and the story of the video and made a creepypasta out of it. And this creepypasta is what made Jeff the Killer so famous. And everyone thought that this creepypasta was the original story. So, a bunch of Jeff the Killer fans mass-reported the original story, and now I'm going to summarize the creepypasta with more spooky music in the background. It opens with a news station saying that an unknown killer is killing people, and they haven't caught him yet, and a child says that he survived an encounter with the killer. He woke up in the middle of the night and saw that his window was open, but it was supposed to be closed, so he got up and shut it. Then he felt like someone was watching him, and got up and saw 2 evil white eyes staring at him, and then he saw his mouth, and he saw his giant evil smile. Then the boy heard the killer say go to sleep, and the killer tried killing him, but the boy's dad saved him and Jeff got very close to killing the dad, but he failed. By the way, Jeff is like 11 years old, and he almost beat an adult in a fight. Then it changed perspectives and now it's Jeff's origin story. Jeff has just moved into a new town with his family, because his dad got a promotion at work and he could afford it now. And when they got to their house they were invited to a kid's birthday party, and Jeff's mum made him and his brother go, but Jeff didn't want to, because he's too old and edgy to go to a kid's birthday party. Then, while Jeff was waiting for the bus to go to school, a kid jumped over him on a skateboard. Which is crazy. How was that kid that good at skateboarding? Then, when the kid landed, he kicked his skateboard up to his hands and caught it. And the kid has friends and they just appeared. Their kids named were Keith, Troy, and Randy, and the kids have a pocket knife, and the kids robbed Jeff's brother. So Jeff punched Randy in the face and broke his hand, and Jeff fought him while dodging every attack, and he punched one of them so hard that they started throwing up. By the way, Jeff is like 11 years old. The next day, 2 police officers were at Jeff's door, and they said that Jeff attacked 3 kids, and Jeff admitted to it so his brother didn't go to jail. So the cop sentenced Jeff to a year in juvie. A police just picked the punishment for a kid. Do judges not exist in this universe? Then Jeff's brother says that he actually did it, and he held up a knife as he said it. And that was all the proof the cops needed, so they arrested him. Then, 2 days later he had to go to the kid's birthday party from the beginning of the story, and he put on his iconic white hoodie and he went to the party. When he got to the party, a kid asked him if he wanted to play with him, but Jeff said no, because he was too old and edgy for that. But then he did it and he had fun. Then the 3 bullies from before did a trick on their skateboards and jumped over the fence. And then Randy and Jeff started fighting. Then the parents tried to stop it, but the 2 other bullies pulled out guns so they wouldn't. And then Randy broke a bottle of vodka on Jeff's head. Then Jeff punched Randy so hard that Randy just died. By the way, Jeff is still 11 years old. Then the 2 other bullies try to shoot Jeff, but Jeff is so cool and he dodges the bullets and runs upstairs. And Jeff gets to the bathroom, and Jeff rips the towel rack off the wall to use it as a weapon, and he hits Troy with it and kills him. Then a thing of bleach fell on Jeff's face. Just a thing of bleach, not a gallon, not a cup, not a bottle, just a thing of bleach. And now Jeff was covered in bleach and alcohol. So Keith threw a lighter on Jeff, and it burned and bleached Jeff's face. When Jeff woke up he was in a hospital, and his mum had to sew his white hoodie back together so he could wear it. Why? If you ruin clothes you don't sew them back together. You usually just wear different clothes. And if the writer wanted him to wear his iconic white hoodie at the end, couldn't he just make him put it on later? And Jeff's brother finally came back from juvie, but it was too late now. Jeff was crazy now, so Jeff carved a smile on his face, and then he killed his mum. Then he went to his brother's room, and he said, "Go to sleep," and he killed his brother. This story made Jeff the Killer really popular, and the creator of it claimed to create the original Jeff the Killer image. But then people found out he didn't make the original story, which meant he didn't make the original image. Then the creator of the original story claimed that he made the image, and that picture was a photo of him wearing a scary mask. But it was found that that photo existed a while before the story. But now we probably know where it was from. There's a pretty reliable story that says that the photo was of a girl who had an abusive boyfriend, and that boyfriend posted the picture to terrorize her, and the girl left the internet. But the people on the internet were actually good people for once, and they deleted the original photo and it's lost media now. And the original photo shouldn't be found, because that would undo its deletion, and it would bring back all the pain to everyone involved. The Jeff the Killer creepypasta was not a good story, but it was on the Creepypasta wiki. The Creepypasta wiki had very strict quality control measures to make sure bad creepypastas don't get on the wiki. But stories like Jeff the Killer and Sonic EXE were allowed on it because they were popular. But a lot of people were mad about that, because they didn't meet the criteria but they were still added, so they were removed. And the Jeff the Killer fans were mad about it. Not as mad as Sonic EXE fans, but they were still mad. So the owners of the wiki and the Jeff the Killer fans came to a compromise. If someone remade the story but made it good, then it would be added to the wiki. So Jeff the Killer was still on the wiki, but the horrible story wasn't. I'm not going to summarize the remake story, because it's pretty much the same story, but I will list all the things they changed. Jeff's face got ruined because he was shot by a flare gun. The party Jeff went to was Randy's party, and Jeff's parents were more abusive. The story still wasn't good, and it was still very edgy, but it got on the wiki. Jeff the Killer is just a knockoff Joker. Joker is a crazy guy with abusive parents who got chemicals on him, and now his face is white. He has black around his eyes, and he has a big crazy red smile. Jeff the Killer is a crazy guy with abusive parents who got chemicals on him, and now his face is white. He has black around his eyes, and he has a big crazy red smile. Jeff the Killer was also very influential on Roblox. Surprisingly, someone made a game called Survival the Jeff the Killer, and it was just a simple game where you're in a treehouse, and Jeff the Killer is trying to kill you. And the game isn't very great. But this simple game got almost 200 million visits, and it started something. A lot of people wanted successful games, just like Survival the Jeff the Killer. So a bunch of people just reskinned the game with different characters, and there was one called Survival the Peppa Pig the Killer, and a game creator named Minatoon played it, and he didn't like it, so he remade it, and his game was called Piggy, and it became one of the biggest Roblox games ever, with tons of merch, and tons of players. And then that game got reskinned a lot, and it started a trend, just like Survival the Jeff the Killer. And that makes Jeff the Killer one of the most influential characters in Roblox. He also appeared in another big Roblox game called Doors. He randomly appears in every room you enter, and he acts the same way he does in Survival the Jeff the Killer. He also has a lot of avatar items that you can buy, and I even have his face. Another Jeff the Killer remake might come soon. The YouTuber Pastra said he's going to remake it in a live stream. Pastra also made Dreams of an Insomniac, so I think the Jeff the Killer remake could be good. Anyways, that's all. If you like this video then please like it, and please subscribe.